Okay guys, so I want to address something that happened in the last episode of Ant World and kind of the backlash that came with it. So firstly, I got a lot of backlash for how I moved the ants from their old nest to the new nest. Now there's a few things I want to address. One, I'm only human, I make mistakes. Two, this is the first time I've ever had ants, and this series is in no way to educate people on how to care for ants. You can look at Ants Canada, they're awesome. But for me, this is just my progress in learning more about ants and the development of a new colony, just through my eyes, which are completely amateur. Thirdly, you don't know the time difference between my videos. So I can film something a month ago and wait 3 weeks and film the next bit, but then upload them within days of each other. So that definitely does not mean that because I made the formicarium, I believe I uploaded that video 1 week and the moving in the next week, that does not mean that that whole situation took place in just a week. I did set them up, so I put a light on the old nest for ages to get the ants to move out. That did not work. They would not budge. Then I was worried maybe the queen wouldn't be able to get into the tunnel and all of this other stuff, and I thought, are these eggs and larvae going to dry out? Now, someone did comment and go, well, ants aren't stupid, but my colony would not move, and they had a hot lamp on them. Nothing would budge them, and for the safety of the colony, I thought, okay, I'm going to try this, I'm going to move them this way. Right, so the whole moving situation as well, you don't see every single thing that happened. So there was a clump of eco-earth and sand which was stuck on the plastic even once I got the nest contained, and this wouldn't just drop off on its own, so I actually brushed it all off into the formicarium and I spread it out so it wouldn't be too thick so the ants will start nesting in it. That looks like I had just tipped the ants in all over and scattered it all over the formicarium. That is not true. The actual nest area which was contained had hardly any eco-earth in, so when I did put that in there, there was just this small area that had like eggs and larvae and pupa and their main ants. That was a very small area. They were not scattered all over, they weren't thrown in. I did it as carefully as I possibly could. Another thing that bugged me was the sort of smugness of, well, you know, the queen is stressed now, so the egg production will stop. And lasius nigers never survive these kind of things. Well, I was sort of laughing to myself at this point because I already had this footage of the queen in her new nest surrounded by eggs and larvae. It's a little bit blurry, a bit, and that's because the actual plastic has a lot of scratches on it, so it's not the clearest picture through to the ants, but there, as you can see, there's loads of eggs and larvae. So I knew the queen hadn't stopped egg production. She is definitely thriving, and so is the nest, because I think we had 1 or 2 new ants hatch out as well. So, you know, I appreciate your concern, and I appreciate you do care for the ants, and that's good because I care for animals too. But I can assure you that I tried to do the best I could do for my colony. They weren't budging the other way, and I knew this kind of formicarium was much better for them because the Ant World one, it has a lot of issues to it. I wouldn't recommend it really. I would say save up your money and get an actual formicarium or make your own like I did. So really I wanted to get them moved in there, and yeah, so I made that decision. I get there's going to be some backlash, but I can assure you they're doing fine. And that lasius nigers, these are just your black garden ants that you find in your backyard, and I can assure you that there's a lot of them in my garden who go through a lot worse than these guys did. A lot of them live in like plant pots which get watered daily, which fill up with water, so the nest would be sort of drenched. Then there's the times that you add flowers into the flower pots which happen to have ants' nests in, so you're digging, and that will also affect their nest, and yet they're still thriving. They're very resilient animals, they have to be. So please rest assured that they are doing fine, and you don't have to worry anymore. It maybe wasn't the best way to approach it, but I did try for a long time moving them in their own time, and that wasn't just a week duration, that was a lot longer, but you just didn't see it because of the time that I uploaded the videos. Like right now, this microscopic image of them is not being filmed whilst I record the audio, it was filmed a while back. So there is something you've got to think about when it comes to YouTube. We don't always upload the videos straight away as they happen. So, I hope that's cleared up some questions. I appreciate your concern, but it's a happy ending. They're totally fine. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.